Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video is going to be on the 2024 Great Eastern Cutlery Rendezvous. And so I'm going to kind of just go over all the stuff that I brought back from the Rendezvous and how it went and all of that, just like a recap of the Rendezvous. And it's going to be pretty informal here. I don't really have a plan for the video other than, what I just said. So first of all, the Rendezvous this year, the first thing that kind of cued me in that it might be a little bit different is that some people brought a camper and lined up on Sunday with the Rendezvous actually starting on the following Friday. So almost a full week, or really a full work week of waiting there. And of course, it's Gary and Jesse who are longtime Rendezvous attendees, and I know them and am friends with them. So no negativity towards that. It turns out that they had some time off that week already and then just took like a couple days off or something and made a fun little vacation out of it. But not only that, but other people started showing up on Monday and Tuesday. So the real hardcore people showed up even earlier this year. And that's a trend that I've been seeing, is that it's not necessarily that people in general are showing up significantly earlier to the Rendezvous to get in line, but the really hardcore people, like the first 30 or so people, are lining up earlier and earlier and earlier. So, I wasn't going to go until Friday. That was the plan. Is the 10 previous years, but not all 10 years, the first few I didn't do this, but most of the 10 previous years that I'd been at the Rendezvous, I went and lined up and basically stayed there overnight, Thursday into Friday, and some of the years it was Wednesday into Thursday, I believe. But the problem with that is that you stay out all night, and even though it's really fun, you get to talk to people and see knives all night and everything, you end up being really exhausted the next day. And this year my big focus was I wanted to have a table for Barlow Bearcat Club and Knife Thoughts and talk to people, have a good time conversing with people, and not focus on the knife and waiting forever to get the knife, but rather focus on being personable, having energy. I'm actually an introverted person naturally, so I need energy to be able to converse effectively. So I wanted to focus on that and didn't plan to stay overnight this year. So I didn't think that I was going to be able to get the Rendezvous special on Friday on the first day, because I was just going to go and get there early and set up the table and such. So anyway, that's what I did. I got there around 6:15, I think, a little later than I intended actually, but I ended up being 76th in line. Now, I just realized that I didn't take the tag off of my keychain. One of the Barlow Bearcat members made 100 brass tags with numbers on them to basically hold your place in line, because when you line up for the Rendezvous, leading up to Friday, they don't give you an official ticket until Friday, or at least so far, including this year, they haven't. So last year I wrote out just numbers on little pieces of paper and gave them to people, and then people exchanged those for the actual ticket to get into the store. But this year, Lee from the Barlow Bearcat Club made brass tags with the year on the back and number 1 through 100 on the front. And so that was a really nice system, because you can't really fake it. I don't think anybody's going to make a brass tag on the spot. So it was a nice system, and a lot of people kind of use those as a memento also. I have kept mine on my keychain since then. So that was really cool of Lee to do that, and it seemed to work really well also. Now, one interesting thing is that the store opens at 7, so I didn't get there much before the store opened, and they started giving out tickets pretty quick after I got there. And there were definitely people who got a brass tag who left and didn't actually get a ticket. So I had the 76th brass ticket, but I had the 72nd or a brass tag, but the 72nd actual ticket. And that's even, I didn't hear them calling my name or my number for the ticket. and missed a few people. So anyway, I was basically 72nd in line to go into the store. But I set up a table, and I'm going to put some pictures of that hopefully here over this, because you've just been staring at a bunch of knives and such here for a while. But I put up a table for the Barlow Bearcat Club and Knife Thoughts, and I really tried to make it professional this year. I got a tablecloth made that actually I can use for both the Barlow Bearcat Club and Knife Thoughts, but I had it set up for the Barlow Bearcat Club, and printed by a local printer, and then some posters printed by a local printer, like foam board posters with like information about the Barlow Bearcat Club and how to sign up. And I had the option to just sign up, pay the dues, and you get a sticker, or do that plus you get a copper coin. We got copper coins made, which is what's in here, and then also to do all of that plus a hat or t-shirt. And I had some hats and t-shirts for both the club and Knife Thoughts. And then I displayed my Rendezvous special knives, which I will definitely put a picture up of at some point in this video here, as well as some other knives that I just like to display, and the Barlow Bearcat Club knives so far. So it was really cool to have a table. I think it turned out really nicely, kind of, like looked like a real exhibitor table like you might see at a knife show. So I was really happy with how that turned out, especially because it was difficult to get the tablecloth made. I kind of got ghosted for a little while from that printer, but they ended up, pulling it through for me. So anyway, I'll talk first here about what I got, and then, about the kind of main thing, which was the people and the interaction. So, 7 minutes in, just getting into the knives. I'm sure somebody will have something to say about that, but I'll talk first about these slips. So I got a couple different slips here, and these two were made by a Barlow Bearcat Club member, Thomas, and these are really cool. This one here is for our club coin. So I've got one of the club coins here, and as you can see, it's starting to patina, but we got these coins. Everybody seems to love them. I really love them. I'm super happy we got them. Thank you to Alex for kind of pushing me in this direction rather than the other type of coin that I was considering getting. And I just think they're such a cool memento of the club, like a real coin that you might metal detect and find. These are like a real memento. Coins, can tell you a lot about a culture, what their coins are like, and a culture's history. And so I really like having these. You can see the club logo, and then, a knife that I drew, established 2022, go out and do good, which is what I say at the end of my videos here. I actually was a little bit uncomfortable with putting that on there. I didn't want to make it too much like, too directly my, saying basically. But the officers really thought that it was good, and I think it turned out nice. It's kind of nice to have a motto like "In God We Trust" on normal coins. And go out and do good is a good sentiment. That's why I say it. As you might know, it's what my actually my grandpa always just says "do good" as like a farewell. So anyway, they turned out really nicely, and this slip is a really nice touch. You can carry it and have it stay nice and, not getting beat up too much. I also like carrying them without the slip actually too, but I think that the slip is a nice touch, and it's really well done. You can see that it's got two different colors of thread to kind of match the stained, splotched look, which I like. It's a very different look from a lot of the other slips that I have. And then this is also made by Thomas. You can see kind of matching with the thread and the type of leather. Really nicely done. It does remind me in how it's done a lot of the Lynch Leather slips, which I'll talk about this one next. So, as compared to some other stylings, let me see if I can kind of point out a difference of what I'm talking about. So it's a little different than something like this from traditional pocket knives, which is also a nice slip for sure, but a different feel to it. And this is another traditional pocket knife slip with kind of a similar feel to the other one. I've used this one a good bit, but just a little bit of a different feel. but similar to the Lynch Leather stuff. And I actually have been carrying this one almost every day, actually, since getting it with my first GEC, this TC Barlow in it. I love carrying this knife. I've carried and used it a lot, as you can tell from the blade. But I haven't been carrying as much. I really don't want to lose it or you know, I don't know, break it, I guess. But I do think that it goes well with this slip, particularly because this is actually a smooth ivory bone covers originally that I dyed black. So this black dye really kind of, it really right away hit me that was a good option for this. And I didn't have a slip for that knife. So really appreciate that from Thomas. And then speaking of slips, I was set up, my booth or table, I guess, was set up next to Justin of Lynch Leather, Justin Lynch. And so Justin has done a bunch of stuff for the club. Let me show you just some of what he's actually just won, because the other slips that Justin has done for the club, I actually have displayed with my club knives. So they're definitely display quality, but this is another one of the slips that Justin has made for the club. This is an 86 size slip, which this is also. But does great work. Really enjoy his stuff. And he has this stamp that we got made for the club. That was like the first piece of gear that we got made for the club, was some slips with these stamps. So really enjoy his stuff. It was great to meet him in person. I talked to him a good bit, and he made these for, you know, people to buy at the Rendezvous, club members to buy at the Rendezvous. It's really cool. It's this ghost leather, and I haven't had anything in ghost leather, but I have seen things in ghost leather, and boy, it patina's really cool. So you can see that, I mean, I've had this for a little over 2 weeks basically, and you can see it's patinaing already. But I've actually carried this pretty much every day too. So I've been carrying all of this along with my modern knife most days. So it's kind of a lot to carry, but I've just been really enjoying it. And you can see that patina's really nicely here. You can see his logo on the back. I love the cracked patina look. Just really enjoy this ghost leather. It's kind of interesting and unique. You can see that it has red thread. So I love carrying this knife. This might be my favorite GEC to carry, like the most practical, I guess I would say. With its stainless, it's got great action. I did have to adjust the pivot, or the tension of the pivot somewhat, or the tightness, or whatever. I love the bone, so I love the 2AB. And I was carrying it in that slip I just showed you, but I think this one matches it really nicely because you've got the red thread with the darker red there. And then the other thing that I put on is this bead from Josh Floyd. So Josh Floyd is another Barlow Bearcat member, and he is a potter. And I actually have sitting next to me here a mug that Josh made. Please excuse the put some butter in my coffee this morning. Haven't done that in a long time, but I felt like giving it a shot today. Not real sure if it was the right call, but anyway, he makes these cool skull beads, and being that this is ghost leather, I thought the skull matched, and I got an orange, you know, colored skull, which matches the bone. So I think it made for a really cool package, and I was really happy to get this slip from Justin. I actually got this skull bead previously from Josh. I should have gotten another one actually, but he had some at the Rendezvous, but that's really cool too. So I really like this package. I think it's a really cool kind of all-together thing. My light is apparently dying. I've got fluorescent lights here in my shop area, and so it's not very pleasant. It's just flashing. But anyway, another thing that I got from Justin, I actually have been intending to get a wallet to give to my brother for a while. I don't know if I'm going to, actually, just because I think he might have gotten a new wallet in the time since I planned to do this. But I got this wallet from Justin. I actually most days use a very similar wallet from Justin, just with different colors. They're nice. You know, you can carry some cash or something like a Swiss card, like the Swiss Army knife card multi-tool. So you can carry that, and then some cards on both sides there. So I think that these are nice wallets and a good price too for what you're getting. So I got one of those. And now on to knives, which, 15 minutes into the video now, I'm sure people have their thoughts. I want to show you this knife first, actually. This is the non-GEC that I got. And I just realized that I'm missing one of the knives that I had intended to talk about here. Not real sure what I did with it, but that's okay. It's a non-GEC also. This is a Russell Barlow. And so the Barlow Bearcat Club was actually originally in the 40s and 50s a club that was really just, people would write in to a journalist who would do a column, and part of it was the Barlow Bearcat Club, which was for owners of Russell knives. People would send in, amusing anecdotes and poems, and he would write these kind of funny, very prosy type columns about Russell Barlows. And I've never owned a Russell Barlow. They're something that hasn't been made for a long time. And so another Barlow Bearcat member, John Rao, who I've known for a while from being at the Rendezvous, gave me this knife. And it's really, really cool because it's such an interesting part of Barlow history. The Russell Barlow is extremely popular, and it's really cool to see how this knife is constructed. So you can see the pins here for the pivot. It has these kind of less or unhafted covers where they stick out above the bolster a good bit. And like he told me, John Rao told me, most Barlows from that time, it's a 2-blade. Now I prefer single blade Barlows, but just at that time they did more 2-blade Barlows. So really, really cool. I love having this in my collection, and I plan to try to display this with my Barlow Bearcat club knives. Even though it's not a club knife, it's kind of the inspiration, the original inspiration for the club. So I really appreciated that. And it's something I'm really happy to have in my collection, being that the Barlow Bearcat Club has become such a big part of my interaction with the knife community. So really cool gift from John, and I really appreciate it. So now moving on to GEC knives. I'll show you them in the order that I got them, basically. So the first that I got was this one. So this one was a gift from another Barlow Bearcat member, Jason. And I intend to trade him something because it's just, it's a really nice gift, and it's something that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I just was more focused on setting up for the Rendezvous, getting things ready and everything when these dropped. But this is the TKC Special Factory Order number 39 in Fiddleback Maple. So I actually hadn't had or even seen in person a 39 before seeing this knife. And so this has beautiful, beautiful wood covers. You can see it's got really nice grain. You got some chatoyance in there. It's got this cool maple leaf shield. It's number 50. And it's got this etch. So really, really cool. I kind of feel bad because I didn't put the work in to get one of these on the drop. But Jason was able to get a number of them. And I put Renaissance wax on, I believe, all these knives. I think I put it on this one too. Yeah, and so you might see some smudges, and that's the Renaissance wax. This is off topic, but I got Renaissance wax because I wanted to keep the knives that I don't carry and use, in good shape. But I don't know how I feel about it. It seems to smudge really easily. I can't really get it to shine like it's supposed to consistently. And so I might try Wicked Wax. I've seen people, actually including a Barlow Bearcat Club member, Trevor, talking highly of Wicked Wax. And also Wicked Wax is food safe, whereas Renaissance wax is not. But just a really cool knife. Now these sit a little high. You can see that the tip is basically proud, but because it's a spay, you know, you can't really catch your finger on it too much. You can't pinch it either, but I can get my thumbnail in there easily, and it's nice action. It's like a 5, very nice snap. So super nice gift, but I plan to figure something to trade for it from Jason. So that was the first one that I got because it was, you know, he gave it to me while we were kind of waiting to go in. But now we can get to the knives that I bought from GEC. So kind of coming back around to that, I have that collection of Rendezvous knives and Rendezvous specials, and I've been making it for 10 years basically, and wasn't, you know, dead set on getting the Rendezvous special this year because I just didn't know if I would be able to. But once I saw what it was, I knew that I did need to get it. Well, not need, I don't want to say that because it's not a true need, but I really wanted to get it. And that's because it was a 86 Barlow in abalone. So kind of like a perfect knife for me. And Bill said at the picnic afterwards, I hope everybody liked the knives that we came up with this year. And I said, Bill, if you asked me what I wanted the Rendezvous special to be, that might have been what I came up with. So it was really right up my alley with the abalone and being a Barlow and on the 86 frame, which is probably my favorite Barlow frame, like I mentioned with the 2AB. So I was really excited to see that. But I got into the store, and how they do it is they've done now for the past 2 years, there's 2 different Rendezvous specials, and you can only purchase one Rendezvous special across the 2 versions and across the 2 days. So when you buy a Rendezvous special, they put your name on a list, and then you can't buy another one. So I really like this system. I also mentioned to Bill that I really appreciated that they've been doing that, because I don't think I would have gotten this knife, the Rendezvous special, if they hadn't done that system. But because of that, when I got into the store on the first day, they had already sold all of their, you know, allotment for that day of this Rendezvous special. Now, a lot of people were surprised that I didn't just get the other Rendezvous special, but I didn't really want it. The 39 is a great knife, but it's not something that necessarily calls out to me. And I'm actually going to try to really focus on Barlows, I think, for my collection. Not just, you know, getting whatever. But anyway, I didn't buy a Rendezvous special and instead bought these 2 knives so that I would be able to try for the Rendezvous special the next day. Now, they had these, so I'm going to lay these down. So they had these, which is a number 15 TC Barlow sheepfoot in red natural bone. This is an SFA, so it's a special factory assembly, what they used to call parts knives, where they put parts together, usually with different handles or something like that. This one has basically the same covers as that 2AB. So I really do like the look of the covers, and I looked through a few of them. Actually, no, I don't know if I did. I think I just looked through 2 of them, but this one has this really cool bone where it is real deep here. And now I just realized that there might be a crack in this. So that's no good, but I got this knife and looked at it, and yeah, even put the Renaissance wax on it, like I said, and didn't notice that. But so it has this, what do they call it, red natural bone, and it looks just like the 2AB. What did I do with the 2AB? So, you know, clearly kind of the same process on these 2 covers. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Anyway, it's a sheep foot, and so as you can see, it's from this year, but it is a parts knife, and it's not an S, so, you know, there's that. But I got this to go for a Barlow, and I should have gotten, there were number 15 TC Barlows with clip point blades, which they haven't done clip points for a while, and they were, I believe, like 2014 maybe blades or something like that, 18, something like that. So they were older blades, and I definitely should have gotten that. I really kind of can't understand why I didn't do that, because they were available when I got into the store, but instead I got this. So it's an 86 bullhide carver in jigged orange Delrin, 1 of 27. So I got this, and it just kind of called to me because I think that the jigged orange Delrin is really cool looking. But honestly, these are so big that I won't carry it. I don't know why I say that. There's, you know, I carry bigger knives than this, but the jigged orange Delrin is really cool. I wish that they would do this for farm and field knives, or just use it more, because I really think it looks and feels great. The jigging on this is super nice. I think it's some of the better jigging that GEC has done, which is kind of funny because it's, you know, it's Delrin. But I really think that this jigging is super nice, and it's real sharp feeling in a good way, and looks great on the orange. But this is the bullhide carver, so you can see I've got this sheep foot blade. Again, that wax, that Renaissance wax, it just leaves smudges so easily. I think I must not be doing it right or something, putting too much on or something along those lines. But anyway, special factory assembly 2024. You've got your punch. You can see the 2023 stamp on the punch. So yeah, nice knife. Again, I think I probably should have gone with the TC Barlow. But anyway, I actually didn't go back in the store on Friday. I could have, but I gave my ticket. You know, when you go through the store, you can get another ticket to go back through. And of course, you know, most people went through a couple times each day. Well, I can't say that, but a lot of the people that I was talking with, you know, people that are pretty hardcore there, went through a couple times each day. Some people went through like many times. You know, there were some people there that were buying knives for sure to resell. But I only went through once on Friday, because again, my focus wasn't on the knives this year. And, you know, I have a finite supply of knife money. But I just didn't go back through. I gave my ticket, that you get a ticket when you leave the store to come back in, to somebody who came, who had, I think I gave it to Nick that I've talked to on Instagram, and you know, just to help out, because he had gotten there a little later, and so just kind of give him a sooner place in line rather than me going through again. But anyway, I'll talk before I get to these knives about the rest of the day. So I had a really great time on Friday talking to people. I got to meet a whole bunch of Barlow Bearcat members who, you know, it's again the main way I kind of interface with the knife community now, aside from videos and articles, and really great people. You know, too many people to mention. People that I've known before from other rendezvous, people who, you know, I haven't known but have talked to a bunch online. All kinds of people, you know, Rick and Alex are two of the officers that I have met previously at the previous rendezvous. But Sean, who is another officer of the club that I got to meet, and just lots of people. Like, I don't want to leave anyone out. I mean, I guess I'm going to, but lots of people, and it was great to talk with everyone, you know, all throughout. Like, so we probably had 20 plus Barlow Bearcat members at the rendezvous, and then talking with other people who aren't Barlow Bearcat Club members, who I have known from previous rendezvous, and I really think it was the right choice for me to not stay overnight and to be a little bit more well rested, because I was able to talk and have a great time and not feel exhausted the whole time. So I had a great time, and everybody from GEC was great. It was, I think it was an especially great year of the rendezvous. I got to talk with Bill a good bit in the factory, sitting with Bill and Lyle Fry and some other people. I think Matt Lilly from the club was there, and maybe Steven. But people from the club plus Bill talking about, how they procure their handle materials and kinds of stories about things like that. Really, really, it's a great thing to get to talk to Bill and William and Joan May. And so that was really great also. And then we also did an in-person and virtual or online meeting for the Barlow Bearcat Club. So I'll put a picture of that, probably already put a picture up. I don't know, sometime there'll be a picture of the people who attended the Barlow Bearcat Club meeting in person, which is really great because our first official meeting was in person at the Rendezvous previously. So that was a really great thing to do. And, it's great to get together in person. I love getting to interact with people online. I think that the Discord is a lot better way than Facebook and things like that. But there is definitely a difference between, interacting online and interacting in person. So it was great to get to do that in-person meeting. And then I also went to Cross Creek for dinner for the first time. Now, I got there a little bit later just because I wanted to talk to my wife and son, FaceTime them after, leaving and being done with my table and putting everything away. I wanted to FaceTime with them for a little bit. So I got to Cross Creek a little bit later, but I'd never gone there for the dinner before. So people from GEC like Bill and Joan May and William and their families and stuff go to Cross Creek Resort, which is a golf resort, for dinner after the Rendezvous on Friday. And for years, people have gone. I've known about it for years. Like Charlie told me, well, you should go to it. And I just never have, because a lot of times I've gone home between, which I did end up doing this year also. But I did go, and so because I got there late, I was kind of off to a side table, but got to sit with people that I enjoyed, getting to talk with, Travis and Nathan and again Jason. So it was nice. It was great. I was glad I did that. And then I came back on Saturday, again early on Saturday. I think I got there maybe around 5:15 or something on Saturday. And I was like 30 something in line, maybe something along those lines. And being that you can't buy another Rendezvous special on the second day, if you buy one on the first day, you can't buy on the second day. And I knew that a lot of people that were there had been there on the first day. I felt really good about my chances to get a knife. And so I did, and I'm really, really happy about it. So I'm actually going to show you this one first. So this is the other knife I got in my trip through the store on Saturday. I only went through once on Saturday also. I gave my second ticket away to somebody else who got there for the first time on Saturday. Just decided I didn't need any more knives, basically. I think I pretty much ran out of money. A little trick that I do for myself is I take all of my money that I have available for spending at the Rendezvous, and I get it out in cash. Now, if there's something I really wanted to get, I could use a credit card or whatever and then sell something. But I get it out in cash for two reasons. One, if it's something that isn't sold through the store, something at a table or something like that, pretty much everybody takes cash at the Rendezvous, and not everybody wants to get PayPal or whatever. And the other reason is because it keeps you honest and restricts you to what you actually want. So this is the other knife that I got. This is a number 14 TC Barlow. Really nicely done. This has a stronger pull than the recent ones. You can see that this is from 2022. So this is the previous run, not the sheet foot ones that they did most recently. But the black Delrin, black saw cut Delrin, is a cover. I did get one in the sheet foot and pen, but again, like I said, I prefer a single blade Barlow, and I really liked it. It was actually kind of one of the hot tickets for that run, but I thought that this was really cool. I do have a clip point number 14 that I carry and use pretty frequently. Where is it? There it is. So Rick actually gave me this one. So I really like this one, carry and use it a good bit. But this has blades from that run, but then this cover from the most recent run. Now, all of these you could see the pivot pin on. I looked through several of them, so it's just for whatever reason that's something that went on that. It's not an S, but great action, really nice, no proud tip, just a really nice little Barlow. So I was happy to get that one. And they didn't have the clip point number 15 TC Barlows, unfortunately. They were out of those. So I got the Rendezvous special, and I was happy I was able to get 24 to match the year 2024. So you can see that they're actually completed on May 30th, so a week or so before the Rendezvous. But it's a Barlow number 862123 in ALVS abalone handles. So it's an acrylic it's acrylic laminate veneer sheet abalone is, I believe, what that stands for. So there's 58 of them total, and has this abalone, which I love. Now, this is going to go in my display of the Rendezvous specials. I only have it here to show it for this video, basically. But look at this. Look at that abalone. I just love it. I got to be honest. I can't get enough of it. I'd love to carry and use this knife. I actually would really like to carry and use this knife. I have carried it once just to show it to some people. And I'd love to carry and use it. I'm going to try to hold myself off, but I really would like to do that. And actually, they did make 3 non-Rendezvous special abalone 86s that I know some people from the club did get one. So I wish I had gotten one of those and been able to have one to display and one to carry and use, but I would have had to get there on Sunday or Monday, I think, to get those. So anyway, beautiful abalone. There were some different looking abalone, like mine has a lot of the lines and kind of layers to it. I really like that, but some of them had bigger kind of open sheets of abalone or color. But I love how it looks. Beautifully made, you know, just that's some kind of just oil, but no gaps. Love the fluting or the lines here, the threads. It really looks to me similar to my Chagnon Barlow. So, you know, both the color, even though it's a different material, the color and the bolsters, you know, not exactly the same because there's, you know, more threads here on the Chagnon and not the top thread, but really similar. The Chagnon is a little smaller, but really similar in their look. And of course, I love my Chagnon Barlow, so I'll carry that one as instead of this one. But really strong pull on this. I would say a 7 or 8, and you can see the etch there. So love that. And 2024, but again, it's a 2023 blade, GEC. Why is it not? There we go, GEC carbon. So just an awesome knife. I mean, I'm super happy that I got this. I think it's pretty, like I say, pretty close to exactly what I would want in a Rendezvous special, with the abalone, the Barlow bolsters, which are great, and that spear point, that classic spear point blade. So just a beautiful knife. I'll show you just a little bit more here. Beautiful abalone. Super happy to have gotten that. So I think the knives were great. There were a good number of Barlows available, which again is kind of what I'm trying to focus on. So I was happy to see that. And last here on what I got is this tray. So this is a tray from Justin of Lynch Leather, and he does great work with the trays. I think that they're really useful. I actually have all of my slips sitting right next to me here, and another tray that I have from Justin. So lots of cool stuff from the Rendezvous, but the main thing that I really enjoyed, like I say, was the people, getting to talk to people. I did go to the picnic for a little while on Saturday. I wasn't able to last year. I had to leave early on Friday for a wedding, so I was happy to get to spend time with people, including at the picnic, catching up with people. Like I say, I can't name everyone who I got to catch up with, but a lot of people, you know, that I have known from previous rendezvous that I really enjoy getting to catch up with and spend time with. So I had a great time. If you can make it to the Rendezvous, I think it's worth it. I'm very lucky that it's only like an hour and 15 or 20 minute drive, something like that. Some people came from really far away, but I think there's a great time to be had at the Rendezvous. So this has been a long video. It's been one that I have not been able to find time to make because the Rendezvous was a couple weeks. So I wanted to give my full thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the bell and select all so you know when I post new videos. Go to my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like these and also this topic. I have several different articles on the Rendezvous, so definitely check that out. And last but not least, also make sure you subscribe via email for my newsletter on my website. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.